I initially hoped that Bucky Barnes would receive more screen time than he was ultimately afforded in the MCU's latest movie, Thunderbolts*, but I've since changed my mind upon reflection. Bucky Barnes now boasts one of the longest MCU careers, outpacing his best friend, Steve Rogers, and many of the MCU's foremost superheroes with his longevity. Since debuting in Captain America, the First Avenger, Bucky has gone on to feature and star in 1 TV show and 8 movies. This is no surprise, given Bucky Barnes boasts one of the most compelling character arcs in the entire MCU. After being presumed dead after Captain America, the First Avenger, Bucky spent decades as a thrall of HYDRA, unwittingly performing nefarious deeds and assassinations for decades before being broken out of this vicious cycle through the combined efforts of Cap and Wakanda and undergoing a redemptive arc. This culminated in Thunderbolts*, where Bucky Barnes was ostensibly poised to play a large role, but it wasn't quite as large as I expected. I was surprised by how little screen time Bucky Barnes has in Thunderbolts*. He takes a backseat to 2 main stars. There were 2 spotlighted characters in Thunderbolts*, and neither was Bucky. Instead, Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova assumes as much of a protagonist role as can be expected of a team-up movie, while Lewis Pullman's Bob Reynolds steals the show as a tortured vessel of the movie's archvillain, the Void. Sure, Bucky plays a pivotal role in forming the titular team and boasts one of the best action sequences of the entire movie, but compared to the aforementioned duo, he takes a back seat. In fact, he is absent from the action of the first act in the OXE group compound. Considering Bucky Barnes is the veteran among the Thunderbolts, even the older-appearing Red Guardian, who operated in his Red Guardian heyday in the 1980s, it's somewhat surprising that he didn't get as much of a starring role. Until now, Bucky Barnes' extensive MCU history mostly sees him playing second fiddle to other characters like both iterations of Captain America, meaning Thunderbolts* was a prime opportunity to bestow him with the limelight. Then again, it isn't as if Bucky Barnes hasn't already undergone a significant character arc. I've changed my mind. I'm glad Marvel didn't erase Bucky's character development. It might have undermined his arc so far. While he was the titular villain of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the second time Bucky would receive an eponymous credit was in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Here, Bucky Barnes strives to make amends for his time as the Winter Soldier after being officially pardoned for his involuntary crimes. To do this, he undergoes regular therapy, seeks out those affected by his actions to apologize to directly, and works to develop strong bonds with others, most notably, Sam Wilson. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier ends with Bucky Barnes reaching some semblance of peace with himself after years of crippling guilt over his actions, no matter how unwitting they may have been. This contrasts with the theme of Thunderbolts*, where the team is composed of characters who are very much still wrestling with their inner demons and past transgressions. To have Bucky fully represent this motif risks undermining his already fleshed-out character arc by ostensibly bringing him back to square one. Ultimately, I think Marvel Studios made the right call. Of all the Thunderbolts* characters, Bucky Barnes is the most stable. Bucky Barnes has his life together compared to his teammates. After giving it some thought, it is clear now that Bucky Barnes is actually the most psychologically sound member of the Thunderbolts. While his teammates still struggle with their mental health using unhealthy coping mechanisms like binge drinking, Bucky Barnes enters the scene as an elected official with a, relatively, stable career and a laser focus on his goals. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier showed that Bucky has already battled his demons, and I can't help but feel that he's only half joking when he downplays his experience in the Void's shame rooms, knowing he's already tackled his spotty past. Instead, Bucky Barnes acts as a sage counterweight to the team's collectively messy mental state. I actually prefer this version of Bucky Barnes, as it shows not only how far he's progressed in his long MCU career, but that he is now capable of stepping into Steve Rogers' shoes as a voice of reason and stability. The Thunderbolts* post-credit scene helps to affirm this as he quietly guides Yelena Belova in what appears to be her official role as the new Avengers leader, showing that he is furthering Steve's legacy with one Avengers team while Sam Wilson leads the other.